Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless, Daniel loses his mind. One storyline that could explode in the near future on The Young and the Restless involves Daniel Roquette and his reaction to Phyllis Summer starting to date Matt. And honestly, Daniel may completely lose it when he finds out. At this point, Daniel's patience with his mother is hanging by a thread. He has spent years watching Phyllis make reckless decisions, hurt the people around her and create chaos wherever she goes. The possibility of her getting involved with Matt could be the final straw. Let's be honest, Daniel has already forgiven Phyllis for far more than most people ever would. If you remember the shocking scheme involving Jeremy Stark, Phyllis actually faked her own death. That wasn't just a harmless lie or a small deception. She forced her children, Daniel and Summer, to believe that she was dead. They grieved their mother. They suffered through unimaginable pain, only to later discover that it had all been part of her plan. That betrayal cut incredibly deep, and it took a very long time before Daniel and Summer were willing to let Phyllis back into their lives. Even after that, Phyllis continued making questionable choices. Every time it seemed like she had learned her lesson, she found herself involved in another scheme. Daniel wanted to believe that his mother could change, but she repeatedly proved otherwise. The trust between them has never fully recovered, and recent events have only made things worse. Then came Phyllis's involvement with Kane and the plot to take control of Newman Enterprises. Once again, she discovered more video content accessibility. Video transcription service translation API integration put her own ambitions ahead of everyone else. Her actions hurt people that Daniel and Summer genuinely care about. She was chasing revenge, power, and profit without considering the consequences. For Daniel, this wasn't just another mistake. It was proof that Phyllis still hadn't changed despite everything that had happened in the past. The fallout from that situation pushed both Daniel and Summer right to their breaking points. They were already exhausted by Phyllis's endless drama. And this latest scheme only reinforced their fears that she would never stop putting herself first. While Phyllis eventually returned Newman Enterprises to Victor Newman, that gesture didn't magically erase the damage she caused. In fact, Daniel still hasn't forgiven her. The reason is simple. He knows that Phyllis didn't return to the company because it was the morally right thing to do. In Daniel's eyes, she gave it back because circumstances forced her hand. There wasn't some dramatic personal transformation or heartfelt realization. From his perspective, Phyllis remains the same person who keeps making destructive choices and expecting forgiveness afterward. That's why news of a possible romance between Phyllis and Matt could send Daniel over the edge. Matt remains a controversial figure, and many people still question his motives despite some of the heroic things he's done recently. While Phyllis may see someone who deserves a second chance, Daniel is likely to see yet another dangerous situation that his mother is rushing into without thinking. The first person Daniel would probably call is Summer. These two have been through so much together when it comes to dealing with their mother's behavior. Summer understands Daniel's frustrations better than anyone. If Phyllis starts seeing Matt, Daniel and Summer could quickly find themselves united once again in their concerns. What makes the situation especially interesting is that Daniel may genuinely fear that Phyllis is repeating the same pattern that has caused so much heartbreak over the years. Every time she gets involved in a risky relationship or questionable alliance, disaster seems to follow. Daniel may believe that Matt is simply the latest chapter in a very familiar story. As this potential romance develops, viewers should keep a close eye on Daniel's reaction. His frustration has been building for months, and if Phyllis decides to pursue a relationship with Matt, it could trigger one of the biggest confrontations we've seen between mother and son in a long time. Daniel may reach the point where he decides he's had enough, and that could change their relationship forever.